Santa Monica is a crazy place. It was the first, I think it might even be the only municipality to have passed many years ago an ordinance that made it illegal to declaw your cat on the grounds of animal cruelty. I actually agree with that. I think it is cruel to an animal to declaw the cat. But now they're taking it in a wholly different direction, and they may be the first place to pass a law against circumcision. Yeah. They are equating circumcision of men with female genital mutilation of women. Now, you know, it's really interesting when people take overly simplistic analogies in their head, and they really are morons. Because you cannot compare a circumcision of a foreskin on a man to genital mutilation of a woman. It is a totally different effect. When they do it to women, she cannot enjoy any sexual pleasure. She very frequently cannot give birth through the canal. And she has a lifelong series of pain and infection and very often dies. So that is an abhorrent and an abomination procedure. Circumcising a man, particularly in infancy, can occasionally lead to infection if it's not done right. There is a low risk of it, but it can if it's not done right. But on the whole, promote safer sex between men and women, because women who have sexual intercourse with men that are circumcised have lower rates of HIV, sexually transmitted diseases, and way lower risk of cervical cancer, which is why Jewish women have historically had one of the lowest populations that have ever had cervical cancer. You can look that up because theoretically they were with Jewish men for a long time, although now that's not so true anymore, but it was true for a very long time. And it's certainly an individual decision for a family to make. I'm not suggesting that it has to be done, but I am saying that the equating of the two procedures is just wrong-headed pseudoscience babble. Also, when I read something like this, my hairs stand up on end, because in Germany, you know, in the Nuremberg laws and all of that, it was pull your pants down, let's see who's a Jew. And, it definitely was. Oh, for sure was. And to outlaw circumcision is probably against the First Amendment expression of religious beliefs. I would be sure that it would be pretty easy constitutional decision to turn that down, because it's a core belief of Jews. It's a core belief of many of the Abrahamic faiths, Christianity and Muslim among them, who adopt that commandment of the Old Testament. And there's a lot of research to show that it is a core belief of many religions. And for thousands of years it's been done. And other than the political correctness objection to it, or a personal objection, you know, that a family doesn't want to do it, there's no real reason to make it illegal and to make it a misdemeanor punishable by fine or prison. That's what's going on in Santa Monica, California. Michael Savage is a talk radio host out of that area. I can't wait for him to take a look at this issue. I'm actually looking forward to hearing what he has to say about, what does he call San Francisco? I don't remember, San Francisco or something. He says it, but I don't know what he calls it. But anyway, it's something that could only come out of that area. And that's where it is. So would you like to call me with your comment on whether you think we should make circumcision illegal? Maybe you're somebody who feels that the time has come to make circumcision illegal. 203-845-3044. I think it's probably not a good idea to do. And, you know, and I would say that even if I wasn't a Jew, but as a Jew, I will tell you that that would be a mark of prima facie discrimination against Jews, right? To make it illegal is the first commandment for boys. That's it. Emphatically not for girls. Unfortunately, there are many religions in Africa that practice this as, and they don't even say that it's religious. They say it's a custom. They can't even point to a religion because knowledgeable Muslims will say that it's not in their faith. It is some kind of custom tradition that's adapted over time in order to subjugate women, in order to hurt women. I mean, why else would it be? So that women are deprived of sexual pleasure. I mean, really, that's what it's about. And it's really, really horrible. I mean, if you see the images of people, and that's why that woman, whose name we don't know, but who was the victim of the alleged DSK crime, the rape in the hotel room. She was an asylum. She came here on the grounds of asylum from Africa. She was only 16 years old when she came with her baby, and she has HIV. It hasn't been admitted, but what has been admitted is that she lives in a residence that you cannot live in unless you are being treated for AIDS, unless you have HIV. So the likelihood is that she was at some point sexually molested and or genitally mutilated, because genital mutilation is one of the few grounds that you can actually immigrate here from Africa on the ground of asylum. In other words, the ground of asylum being that you need to escape from the persecution. Sometimes it's the threat of genital mutilation. Sometimes it's already happened to me, and I'm trying to fight against it, and I don't want it for my daughter. So you can come here. And she has a daughter. So we don't know the particular circumstances that she was granted asylum, but I would bet that it had something to do with some kind of sexual abuse, which is rampant in Africa anyway. The rape. It's just horrific. I'm talking a lot about this today. You know why? It's in the news. It's in my headlines every single day. Can't get away from it. Cannot get away from this subject. I wish I could get away from it for a while. Maybe it would mean that it wasn't happening as much. But I don't think so. Okay, let's go to Victoria. Victoria, you want to talk about that circumcision proposal?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hello. Yes, I would like to talk about that.
You're on the air, Victoria. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I would like to speak about that. First of all, Savage had said that it was San Francisco.
That's it. Thank you, Vic. I knew it was something. Thank you. I thought it was Francisco.
And also about the circumcision. I think the government should be out of everything. I think the government should be out of everything from gay marriages to birth control. I don't think they have any business even discussing that. I mean, that's a private thing, and that's how I feel about it.
It's interesting because it's funny, Victoria, because there was a tweet on it, and the tweet said, let me see if I can find the tweet. It was a funny tweet. It basically said, San Francisco they don't care about abortion, but they're very interested in monitoring foreskins, right? In other words, there's an inconsistency too. Right?
Yes, absolutely. There's an inconsistency in everything. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, this is only drumming up business because they need something to do.
Isn't it horrible? It's like,
yes.
Yesterday I was talking about our Connecticut legislature, and they want to pass a law because one person that went to the scene of a murder in New London distributed some images on Facebook that he shouldn't have to his friends, and the parents objected. So now there's going to be a law in Connecticut unanimously passed in the Assembly, hasn't made the Senate yet, that will prevent any fire or police or emergency responder from taking pictures at the scene of a crime. I mean, that's ridiculous too.
Wonderful.
I mean, like we go to the nth degree and we have to make laws for everything instead of just saying that was one bad act, you shouldn't have done that, and that's it.
Well, I don't know what to say to you, but I am so thoroughly mystified on what's going on with our legislature, with our senators, with our elected officials. They don't talk about anything that concerns us as people.
This is true. This is true.
There is no comment. If there is something that is of great importance, there is no comment about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I hear you. So why don't you run, Victoria?
Oh, I'd love to.
Why don't you run?
I'd straighten this place up, being a woman.
I think you'd be great.
Oh, well, you too.
Okay, thanks, Victoria.